Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Iron Bark Podcast. It's the most iron and the most bark podcast that exists. In fact, I don't think there is even remotely a single other podcast that has as much iron and as much bark as this podcast. But I digress. You know what today's episode's about? Huh? Do you know what it's about? Well, me neither. I don't have any idea what this is about. Well, I do, but before I get into it, a little bit of Trump there. Did you hear it? Just a tiny bit. I'm going to be busy this week, so you're not going to get a whole lot of podcasts. And sorry, there's been a little bit of a gap between the last one and this one, but you got one today, and you'll get one in a week from now. Ish. Give or take ish. Ish. Wish. Fish. Another one in the basket. A bison gores a man who got too close in Yellowstone National Park. This is making the headlines today. You see it quite often if you follow popular nature pages such as Turons, it's supposed to be a play on tourists and morons, of Yellowstone. You'll see it happening quite often that people get too close to elk or bears or bison and all the rest. So I'm going to read you an article, a little bit of a snippet of an article. Maybe I'll jazz it up a bit. This comes from The Guardian. A 30-year-old from New Jersey sustained minor injuries in the latest mishap involving tourists and wildlife. A bison gored a man in Yellowstone National Park on Tuesday, park officials said, in the latest instance of an injury caused to a tourist who got too close to one of the large hoofed bovines. An unnamed 30-year-old man from Randolph, New Jersey. It's always a guy from New Jersey, isn't it? One of those East Coast people. Someone from Ontario, Canada, or New York, or Michigan. They're always coming to Yellowstone National Park and getting a nice gore. Let's see here. That's not from the article, that's me. Sustained minor injuries, gored by the bison. Luckily in this instance, only minor injuries. Let's see, the bison in the Upper Geyser Basin region of Yellowstone, the famed national park that's spread across 3 western states. The National Park Service said the man was treated by emergency medical personnel and that the incident was now under investigation. The bison confrontation is the second such clash in a month. And only a month, that's the second. In recent years, there have been several such incidents after tourists disregarded warning signs not to approach bison. One, now infamous episode in 2023 involved a newborn bison having to be put down because a man picked it up from its herd and its hood would not take the animal back. A similar issue occurred in 2016 when a Canadian man and his son put a bison calf in their SUV. That sounds completely outrageous, doesn't it? It sounds like completely ridiculous. And here's the thing. Bison are domesticated in some parts, like ranchers have them. I'm sure you could find a recreational farm that just happens to raise bison as livestock, and you could probably interact and take a photo with a baby, with a calf. There's no need to pick them up. That is a wild thing to do. Now, I'm pretty upset that they put down that baby bison after herd wouldn't take it. You couldn't find a ranch or something that would take it. Yeah, I guess maybe not a ranch. It would have to be a wildlife rescue because a ranch would be scared of parasites and, other diseases like that from the wildlife. So you'd have to give it to a sanctuary. But there's probably laws or something. It's complicated. It gets complicated. Folks, park wildlife is, what do they call it? Habituated to people. They don't see us as a threat because the people aren't allowed to hunt in national parks. They're protected. So they don't see humans as a predator. They often get fed by people in the parks as well. So they see them as a source of food and potentially not a threat. You know what I mean? Kind of friendly in a way. But they're still apprehensive and they're still wild animals. And they try not to get them to interact too often. the park rangers, they don't want them interacting with the wildlife for good reasons. Like the one explained here is the herd refused to take the baby back. That's sad. It would die on its own, right? Could have been prevented. In like most jurisdictions, I mean, every jurisdiction is different. Every park will have slightly different rules. If it's a state park, federal park, provincial park, national park, they got different rules. But usually, I think it's like 30 to 40 feet from like herbivores, so like your elk and your bison, and I think it's like 400 feet from predators. Usually something like that. And that's like the minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like you probably want to be further. I've said this on previous podcasts. You want to have geological barriers between you and the animal. Like if you're taking photos and stuff, you better have a good zoom lens. That's all I got to say. These people with their phones, like, you know, a phone does not have the capability. You're just like, you're going to want to get way too close to get way too good of a picture because you're not going to be satisfied because what you're seeing in real life looks better than what you're taking a picture of on your phone. It's kind of like when you take a picture of the moon. You're always the amazing like moonscape picture. You take a photo and you're just like, womp womp, womp 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 womp, womp 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 womp. I don't know how many times like. I don't know. Like it's weird that everyone wants to be Snow White. It's like Snow White syndrome. They go out there and they're like, I can talk to the animals. I have a kinship with these animals. Isn't this the coolest thing ever? Oh, it's so random. This animal, it just happens to like me. It's pretentious and weird and stupid, and we need to stop it. It's a weird thing. You're not special. Every tourist does it. Everyone that visits, they're habituated. They've grown used to you. There's no point in pretending you're a fairy tale Disney character. You're not a Disney prince. You're not a Disney princess. I know you might feel like you have some magical mysticism connected to the deep magic of Earth. But in reality, that bison, that elk, has been hand-fed by several thousand tourists over its lifetime. And it just sees you as another person potentially trying to feed it. But when it notices you don't have food in your hand and you're just trying to pet it, it's going to stab you with one of its pointy horns. And it's going to hurt a lot. A lot of guys. These things, this stuff gets like ridiculous, man. Like it kind of does get ridiculous. I'm tired of like reading about it. And it's so commonplace. And like you would think like public humiliation things like Turons of Yellowstone would get people to not like disincentivize people from doing it, be more like conscious, like, oh, I look like a fucking dumbass. And you think with like the popularity of like the Joe Rogan podcast, where it's like the #1 podcast, and he mentions Turons of Yellowstone and he talks about people getting gored, that people would sort of adopt this like sensibility to it. But they don't. But I guess they're probably not people that listen to Joe Rogan. They're probably just like these like absent-minded, like happy-go-lucky, live in like this bubble where they consume zero media and they're just like completely unconscious of the world. And they just think like that the only thing they've seen is Fern Gully, like back in the 90s with Robin Williams as the bat. That's the only movie they've seen. And that's like their only reference point for wildlife. I don't even know what to say. It's frustrating. It actually is frustrating because you see like the harm that happens to them. And especially when you see it done with predators where people like feed the bears, and then you have these bears that just like want to approach people, and not everyone thinks that bear is approaching for food. They think it's approaching to eat me, and it possibly could be doing both. And then the bear has to get destroyed. This isn't like a harmony with nature. It's pretty annoying. It's I don't know. It's selfish. It's selfish behavior. You're doing it to feel good about yourself, to feel like you have some sort of story to tell, so you can have a cool picture, so you can say you did it. I get it. Not justifying when I say I get it. I get that you want to have a unique life full of unique and cool experiences. But it's not that unique. You know what's more unique? You buy a super fucking expensive camera and you take like sniper pictures of it and get them published in like Nat Geo or something. That would be fucking unique, because not a whole lot of people do that. A whole lot less people do that than the people that fucking feed them. I don't know what to say. Get a backyard feeder, get a bird feeder. You know, I don't know. What do you want to do? What can you do when you live in a shoe? You can't do a whole lot. You basically just smell foot all day, unfortunately. It's crazy how long some of these people write these articles for. It's basically like me blabbering. Da 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 da. Who knows? I don't know. A lot of these articles, I think they're getting a lot more attention now because the Trump administration fired a bunch of like workers. But I covered this in the last podcast. If you think about it, it's not really that many. When you break it down, you have to go back and listen to that because I can't remember. But it ended up being like maybe one per park or something like that. I mean, if they were already short, I'm not going to get back into it. I kind of advocate on both sides of that sort of like problem. But the education starts with the people. Like people need to, I feel like it's almost like when you drive through like the toll gates or something of a national park, you have to be like, here's a waiver. It's a legally binding contract. If you touch the fucking animal or you get this close, you're getting fined. And that's the thing. Like this article said this guy's under investigation. And a lot of the times they might do it to set a precedent. Like I think they're getting fed up with it, right? Like there's probably some sort of like liability. There's probably some sort of like thing. And it's like, we can't keep responding and wasting resources to these people getting injured. Like we need to stop it. Like, so the fines are going to get higher. I don't know. I always think it has to come down to like educational awareness. It's super like, but everyone knows better. Like they're grown adults. Like you should know, like that's a massive wild animal. It seems like it's a bit friendly towards people. So it's like half wild really. And it's like, what? Go to the farm, go to the fucking farm, go to the petting zoo. What's wrong with you people? It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see. It's frustrating to see the domestication of the great outdoors and wildlife. And this expands beyond the animals. This expands into the surrounding areas. I'm not going to get into details because I don't want to upset the people that have lost their lives or been severely injured. But the outdoors are fucking dangerous, folks. They're actually dangerous. I know a lot of people go out there like me, myself, and you know, I don't seem like I ain't shit, right? It's like, oh, this guy's a pussy or something. You might look at me and you say, that guy's a pussy. Maybe not. You might say, oh, fuck, he looks kind of badass. I don't know. I don't really know what people think. They might go, oh, if that guy can do it, surely it can't be that dangerous. Or they look at like the female influencers and they go, well, surely if they're doing it, it can't be that dangerous. Mind you, there's a ton of precautions they take. They're very like educated. They're very well informed. They're very prepared. They don't see all of that stuff really behind social media. There's some influencers that do demonstrate all the readiness and stuff like they have for that because there are people in the comment sections that criticize and blah, 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 blah. It's tiring. So you'll see like majestic waterfall areas with large cliff sides. And for the longest time, these areas remained unaltered, more or less, besides like maybe the hiking trail by humans. And you could just go and you could walk up under the waterfall if you so choose. But you're taking your own risk and safety into, you know, a rock could fall off the side. You know, a log could come over the fall. The cold could like, I don't know, there could be like an undertow. Maybe you get swept off your feet, hit your head off a rock. There's real danger. Like the water's slippery. There's like algae on the rocks. You can't really see it until you step on it. Then you slip and fall, bump your head, go unconscious. Your face is in the water. You drown. And it's not that deep of water. Maybe it's only up to like halfway up your leg. It can happen, right? And it does happen. Maybe a wild animal comes. There's all kind lightning. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen. But when it happens, when the unprepared, the misinformed go and do these things, then all of a sudden there's like this big outcry. This isn't safe. It needs to be more safe. And then all of a sudden they're building these ramps and staircases and viewing decks and this and that and balconies and then all of a sudden it's like this. it's like an attraction. You don't have to earn it anymore. You don't have to hike up to it. You can basically drive up to the parking lot and just follow like a pavement or gravel path to the viewpoint. And in doing that, they destroyed a bunch of natural habitat and this and that and the other. And it's depressing to see. And it's like they're taking the wild out of the wild, man. And there's a plus side to it. It's more accessible now that people with like, disabilities or impairments, they can kind of like make it there if they needed to, because it's not much of a work. They get to see something beautiful as well. So I kind of, there's another side to it, but I don't know, like, what's that saying? The world feels like it's getting smaller. Or maybe it's still the same size, there's just less in it. It's sad. It's sad. It's something like I talked about with some friends and stuff like that, and it's just like it's getting brutal. It's getting very brutal. It's getting harder and harder to feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. Post COVID, I know we're like a few years out now. People are still very into the outdoors. It seems like an inexpensive pastime, more or less. It's basically just gas money at this point. For some places, I'm not going to get into like the big places, because the big places are redonkulous with how much they charge for parking and shuttles and all this. The monetization of the outdoors is like criminal. It's criminal. And and when I visit Canada and places like that, they have like this thing in their charter, and I'm pretty sure it's like something like freedom of mobility. They have the freedom to move anywhere in Canada or go anywhere in Canada. But it's like not true. It is true. Like they could do it if they wanted, but then they'd have to pay. And I don't know. And then there's like this weird, and it's like a catch-22, because it's like there's so many people. We need to sort of disincentivize this like overabundance of people that are just, sort of messing it up, like scaring off the animals, screwing up their like, their migrations and this and that. So they like, if we increase the money amount, then, it'll deter some people. But now it's like, I don't know, they're like gatekeeping the outdoors, and like the outdoors should be free. Like you should be able to go walk outside if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's getting weird. It's getting weird. Soon it's going to turn into like reservations. Like you're going to have to like call ahead of time, book online. And it's like, this is the day that you're allowed entry. And they're going to like put a cap on it based off of like, they're going to probably try to squeeze every penny out of it, and they'll increase it every year more and more. But initially, I believe they'll probably say it's based off of like the sort of statistics we've gathered from like the animals, like migratory paths, and what time of year they're breeding or moving their young around from this part to this part. And we're going to keep this area closed this part of the year, and it's going to be open this. And it's going to get very convoluted. It's going to get very silly. It's already like partway there. And like, I'm going further and further away to like more and more remote and more off the beaten path. It's gotten to the point now where I don't disclose the locations of pictures I post. And people want to know. They're like, where is this? That's the first thing they say. Where is this? Where is it? But people can just like search Google for similar images and they find it. Like it's not even fucking hard, right? But I don't like just disclosing it. And the reason I don't like disclosing is because I feel like those who really want to find it will find it. Like they'll dig, or they'll just come about it by chance because they explore regularly. They're going to Montana, they're going to Wyoming, they're going, Glacier National, they're going to Alberta, they're going to British Columbia, they're going to all those places, and they're just hiking. They're like, I'm going to bang off these hikes, I'm going to bang off these mountains. And then lo and behold, they stumble across, I saw this on Instagram. I saw this on X. And then it's like, this is cool. This is what this was. It's so cool being able to see something I saw on social media so much. And I don't know. So I know like folks, like you probably hate it like that. It's like, why is he trying to keep it secret? Why is he trying to keep it a secret from us? What the fuck is his problem? He's such a dick. No. Well, yeah, but also no. I'm doing it for a good reason, I hope. And if you're like someone I get on with, like you seem pretty cool, and I know you don't seem like the type to kind of like blow a trumpet and post it out there, and you'll probably keep it to yourself as well. You'll keep it in the DMs, you'll keep it in the direct messages, you don't want just like, you get like hundreds of views on a post, but like 2 people commented, or like 5 will like it or whatever, 15 will like it. All those hundreds of people might view it and they're like, I got the information I want. I'm still not liking it though, motherfucker. And then they just go and like muck up the outdoors, get it all mucky. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just on a bitch fest. This is like the Iron Bitch. This is the Iron Bitch podcast. That's what it's turned into. It's a festivus for the rest of us. I don't know. I'm hoping to put out merch soon. I got a new logo. It's a beautiful logo. We got Haley, the professional tattoo artist, to create a new logo. I don't think it's quite going to replace what's on the podcast because I feel like it's become a staple. And I don't, I want it to kind of be a more permanent thing, but I like this one for merch. It seems like a very good merch. It's very nice. That was like Trump and Borat put together. Yeah, it's going to be on the merch. I want to do like t-shirts and stickers. I feel like those are probably the easiest merch. Like I personally sort of like stickers. I like throwing them on Yetis, like places and things I like, or just they're funny. Just throw them on the Yeti. Like it's like a thing. You throw it on the Yeti. And then, or like your locker or something at work or whatever it is. And it's like advertising. It's free advertising. People just throw them up like a gang sign. But t-shirts, like people wear it and it's kind of like, oh, that shirt looks cool. Oh, what's that? What is that? What shirt is that you wear? Oh, what's that say? Iron Bark Podcast. Interesting, like the tree. Oh, it's got a picture of a wolf on it. Oh, the wolf looks pretty fucking cool, yeah. Oh, it's a microphone. It's like barking into, oh, yeah. That's pretty fucking snazzy, yeah. Yeah, pretty fucking snazzy, yeah. The cream of the crop rises to the top, yeah. Macho Man Randy Savage, yeah. I don't know. That's what I think, at least. I think it's pretty snazzy. A schnazzle mataz. Wouldn't mind it as like a sign on a bin or at a convention or something too. Might do that. Maybe even put it on a business card. Because we standing on business. Big business. I don't know. Nobody really knows anymore. I don't even really know what to talk to you guys about anymore. We're going to talk about people getting goro-chewed. Do you think the whole reason why this big gore news, is it for the benefit of the animals and the wildlife? Or is it to take a thing at that Doge, Elon's Doge, making cuts? It's like, oh, he cut too many national park workers' jobs. It's for shame. He is to blame for the goring. Mind you, the goring's been a problem before Trump. And it'll be a problem after Trump. And you know what am I upset about? Them trying to capitalize on somebody else's minor injuries. If it means more education, knowledge, and awareness that people need to stay the fuck away from animals and wildlife. I don't know. I'm not too hard done by it. I think anyone who's like an analytical thinker, an independent thinker, will just deep dive in it and they'll be like, okay, what's the spin here? Oh, you get to the end of the article. Oh, it's whatever political party doesn't fund us. It's whatever one doesn't sponsor us. It's whatever one we don't sponsor. They're the wrong guy. Like, doesn't it get old? Like, do people like, they just look at things and go like, oh yeah. It's all the same shit. Like, both sides. Like, whatever side you're on, like, it's just like, it's all the same shit. And like, people know that, like, deep down. Like, if you say something like that, they'll just be like, oh yeah, it's all the same shit. But they get kind of like lost in the sauce. They're like, oh, This side. It's just like, well, it's all the same shit. Regardless of who is the leader of a country, I guess in some circumstances it can impact people, like if you get fired or whatever. But I find like it's never really impacted my employment. If it did, I might be upset about it. I feel like I always make the same, live in the same house, drive the same type of vehicles. Life moves on. People get kind of caught up in it. I don't know. Maybe it's important to some people. I don't really feel like I live with the consequences of like any political party's decision making. Maybe economically, but who's to say it's even their fault? It's just maybe it would be the same if there was a different one. You know what I mean? And you can say it wouldn't be, but it's like until you have until the proof is in the pudding or whatever the saying is, right? I don't know. Rise above politics, focus on animals. But if some parties don't like animals and they approve hunting, yeah. I don't know, whatever. And it goes back and forth and blah, blah, blah. So all we can do is, I don't know, just advocate. Just say, like the podcast. The podcast is a perfect example. I say, be nice to the animals on this little airwaves here. And you guys go like, yeah, be nice to animals. We're going to be nice to them. We're going to feed them and approach them at Yellowstone National Park to show them how much I love them. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That's the opposite. That's a good spot to end the podcast. We've come full circle. We're going to go with irony. Irony is the theme of the podcast. Irony. Oh, boy. Should I jump into like... I used to talk about the content I'm putting out. Nobody cares. There's some nice pictures of waterfalls. Go check them out. They're on X at Nature's Epion. You can probably catch them on Instagram as well. And I haven't done a Wildlife Wednesday, which I feel terrible for in a couple weeks. But I have like a lot of footage. I got a lot to go over. Should probably put something out. I spend too much time recording footage and not enough time editing it. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Just know your boy Epion here, he's having a fucking blast. He's getting out there. I've been getting out there. You can probably tell by my posts. I don't know. I think that's a wrap, folks. I'm going to miss y'all for a week. Come back and light this shit up again. But hopefully there's some good news this week that comes through and I can do... Maybe make you laugh a little bit, give you a little bit of insight, give you a little bit of like, oh yeah, I never thought about it that way. I never really thought about it that way. Who knows? All right. This is the end of the podcast. We're at episode 92. We're like crawling to like episode 100p. Not a lot make it to 100. There's like stats. I don't know if I posted them. I think it's like less than 5% make it to 100 episodes. And I somehow think, like in my head, I'm like, oh, once I get 100 episodes, bro, it's going to be something. It's going to be something cool. It's going to be the big time. It's going to be the big show because so few people have 100 episodes. Mind you, someone could make technically 100 episodes like within a year. They could, in theory, sit at home every day for an hour, record their thoughts on a topic. I mean, they would have to be like, I don't know, dedicated like hard, but they could do it. Like if they were unemployed or something and they're just like just talking their head off, they could do it. So like 100 episodes doesn't even really feel like that big of an achievement. It's more of an achievement when it's like on a weekly basis because that's like, that adds up, right? Like there's only 4 weeks in a month. Think about that. Hold on. I'm so, folks, you're going to see how fucking dumb I am right now because I'm pulling out a calculator for simple math. And the part that makes me even more dumb is that I can't easily find that app on my phone. So I can't even pretend like I'm doing it off the top of my head because I have to struggle to even find the calculator. So we're going to go with, let's see, there's 48. You already knew this before I said it. You're sitting there saying he's going to say 48. He's going to say 48. There's 48 weeks in a year. Oh, well, fuck. You could do 100 episodes basically in 2 years. And this podcast has been around for like fucking 4. Oh, I'm a failure. I'm like years behind. I'm doing it at a rate much slower than most would. But then most won't even make it this far. So what am I saying? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Should it go past the 100 episodes? Or should this just be... I wonder if AI could recreate me at this point. Is there enough audio from the Ironbark podcast now where it could just be like uploaded and just be like, here's the AI version of the Ironbark podcast. And it like talks mad shit. But basically has like a pretty good like inference on what my position will be on something. I want to upload all my podcasts to like an AI and then have like, and then talk to it as a guest for the 100th episode. That would be fucking unreal. Interview myself. AI Epion. That would be a banger of a podcast. Could you imagine I got into an argument? Get into a fucking argument with AI me? Like, no. That is not my position on that. But imagine he's funnier than me too. Like, he's got fucking like banger ass jokes. Oh no. Folks. That's a good idea. Don't know really how to go about doing all that. But maybe I'll research it. And at this rate, I got a few weeks. What do I got? 8 weeks. I got 2 months to figure it out. Next time on the Ironbark podcast, Epion still hasn't figured it out. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night. You stay beautiful, San Diego.